I'm Coney Cat, and today I'm going to show you how to set up and play Keystone North America, the second edition, and the Coastal expansion. If you followed my channel in any way, shape, or form, you know I love Keystone North America, the first edition. I have been playing through the solo assignments for quite some time now. I'm almost at the end and I'm super excited to get into the second edition here. These do play 1 to 2 players. If you want to play up to 4 players, you will need to buy the upgrade kit. There is an upgrade for the base game that will bring it up to 4 players. And if you want to play the Coastal expansion with 4 players, you'll need to buy that upgrade as well for 4 players. So just so you know that these games here play 1 to 2 players, but you have the option to add up to 4 players as well, but they don't come in these versions here. So in these games, if you have not watched anything I've done about Keystone North America, you are a biologist and your friends playing, and you're working on connecting up and making an amazing ecosystem. The person who is the most connected with the most points will win. So I will get into this, show you how to set this up, and show you how to play both the base game and the Coastal expansion. So let's get into this and I'll show you how to play. This is everything that comes in the box for the base game for Keystone North America 2nd Edition. Here we have 2 player boards. We have our field journal for our solo game. Here we have 35 research story tokens. As you can see, they are printed front and back. This side is the story token side. This side is the research token side. We have 17 synergy tokens with the number 5 on them, and we have 28 synergy tokens with the number 1 on them. We have our time track here and the marker that corresponds with it. We have a score sheet. We have a secret envelope. We have our first player token. Here we have 10 skill tokens. Here we have our story card. Here we have 10 secret objective cards. They look like this on the front side, and the back side has the binoculars. We have 8 wild cards. There are 2 of each kind of habitat here. So this is what they look like on the front with this little compass down below. And then on the back is the same compass symbol. And here we have 87 species cards. They look like this on the front, and on the back they have this little symbol here. And last but not least, we have our rule book. This is everything that's included in the Coastal expansion. We have a field journal that has additional solo assignments. We have 30 conservation center tokens here. There are 5 different types consisting of 2 base and 4 conservation expansions. Now we also have the community focus board here. We have 10 new skill tokens. We have 28 new species cards, 2 player aids, and the community focus token, and a score sheet where you can add in points for whichever opponents in the expansion you choose to play with. Here are some of the fancy add-ons that are available for the game. This is the player mat that incorporates the base game and the Coastal expansion. Here is the premium wooden token pack. Our research and story tokens are now these cool wooden tokens, still printed front and back with the different tokens available. And our synergy tokens are now cool wooden tokens as well. The 1s and the 5s are awesome looking here. And then we have our first player token is in wood here. And last but not least, the time tracking component in wooden form here. Now this is the 4-player upgrade pack. This includes 2 extra player boards here. It includes additional research tokens and synergy tokens. It also includes additional species cards to play with. And the way you can differentiate the 3 to 4 player species cards is underneath the sequence number here. There are 3 dots. These cards will only be used when you play with 3 or 4 players. And here we have a list of all the components and the setup adjustments that will be needed to take when setting up and playing with 3 or 4 players. Here is what's included with the 4-player upgrade pack for the Coastal expansion. We have 2 additional player aids. We have 28 species cards that you can add in. Again, these will have the 3 dots underneath the sequence number. so that you know you only use these cards for a 3 to 4 player game. You will shuffle these into the normal deck that you play with, but you will need to remove these if you play with a 1 to 2 player game. Here we have 10 base conservation tokens. We have more synergy tokens, more research tokens. There are some setup adjustments when we play with 3 or 4 players. Now set up for a 2-player game, you will give each player a player board to place in front of them, like so. We will shuffle up all the species cards and place 6 cards in reach of both players. We'll leave the rest of the pile on the left, and over here will be our discard pile. Next, we will draw 5 random skill tokens, place them with their active side up above our species cards here, and then the rest are removed from the game. Next, we'll get our wild cards out. We will separate them out by each habitat, like so. Next, we'll shuffle up the secret objective cards, pass out 1 to each of the player, and they will keep that hidden from each other, and the rest of the secret objectives are removed from the game. Next, we're going to keep a little pile of our synergy tokens near the board in reach of all the players, and we'll also add a little pile of our research tokens to that mix as well. Here we have our time tracker. We're going to place this on the board. If you'll notice, there is a 4 with a 1 dot here, a 5 with 2 dots, and 6 with a plus. If you're playing a solo player game, you will place the tracker token on the 4 to start. If you're playing a 2-player, you'll put it on the 5. If you're playing with more than 2 players, you put it on the 6. Since we're setting up for a 2-player game, we're going to set it on the 5 and place that in reach of everybody. Next, we're going to choose our first player. However you want to, we're going to give this token to this player here. And then our starting player will get 5 synergy tokens to start. And our second player will get 6 to start. And now we're ready to play. Before we get into the details of how to play the game, let's go through the card anatomy for the different types of cards we have. These are our species cards. Up here we have our species name. Over to the left will be what habitats this species resides in. This particular one resides in all 4. This green icon is the forest woodland habitat. This orange one here is the desert grassland habitat. This purple one here is the wetland river habitat. And this blue one here is the alpine arctic habitat. Down here in the bottom left corner is the artist's name that created the artwork associated with the card. Up here in the top right is the Keystone species icon. Not all cards will have this card. As you can see, this one does, but this one here does not. The number in the bottom middle is the sequence number. And the icon in the far right corner is the season icon. This green season icon is the spring icon. This purple one is the fall icon. This yellow one is summer. And this icon is winter. Now, some species cards may have this tag icon, and other species cards may have this endangered species icon represented by the exclamation point. These are our wild cards, and there are 8 total, 2 of each habitat. And up at the top is the habitat name, but also has the corresponding icon for that habitat. The cost to purchase wild card is 10 synergy tokens represented here. Down in this bottom right corner is the season that this wild card is associated with, and each wild card has a different season that they are associated with in the bottom corner. And this icon in the middle with the compass means that this can be any sequence number that you choose. Here we have our secret objective cards. Each secret objective cards has a name up at the top. This one says identify species. Here we have number 2 is collect samples. 3 is tag species. 4. There are 10 total of these, and each have 4 objectives that you can create on your board to gain you more points by the end of the game. These 3 here are different patterns. This one we would need 3 species cards in this pattern with the spring icon in their bottom right corner. These patterns can go any direction. They can be rotated in any way possible. So it does not have to be this particular L shape. It can be upside down. It can be flipped to the right or to the left. Here we would need 2 endangered species icon cards next to each other, and they could be left to right or up and down. Here we would need 3 tagged species cards lined up together, 3 in a row, this way horizontally or vertically. Now some of our secret objectives have an objective that looks like this. All this requires is 4 cards with the summer icon on it anywhere on your board. Now down below here are the different point values you will get for getting each secret objective. If you only get 1 of these here, you would get 5 points. If you get 2 here, you would get 10. If you get 3, you would get 16 points. And if you get all 4, you get 24 points. All of the secret objectives have the same value for how many objectives you complete. Now we have 10 skill tokens that look like this. One side has grass and one side has stone. The side with the grass is the active side. And during your turn, you'll be able to take these actions on the grassy area. The area below that shows the stone side is what will happen when you flip this over, and you would have the opportunity to use this action at some point in the game. For Keystone North America, the second edition, the game plays exactly the same as the first edition. The game is played over a series of rounds where each player will take a turn, and you'll be placing cards onto your player board to complete ecosystems and secret objectives. Now, ecosystems are formed when 2 or more cards are placed on your player board that have matching habitats and in numerical order. On your turn, you can take one of 2 actions. You can take one of the species cards that are out here in the field and place that on your board. Or you can take one of the skill actions from the active side. Or you can take all of the skill token actions from the exhausted side in one turn. At the end of each player's turn, you will refill the field with new species cards if any have been taken. Now for our introduce action, which is taking a species card from the field and placing it on our board, you can choose any of these species cards here. Starting with the furthest one on the right, you can place this one for free on your board anywhere you want. You would then move all of these cards down to the right and add a new species card to the field. Now, if on your turn you want a card that is not the furthest right card, any card of here, you'll have to pay synergy tokens to take it. So if I wanted this mountain goat here with the 3 on it, I would have to pay 1, 2, 3, 4 synergy tokens. Then I can take it, place it on my player board here, move these down. Now, if a player chooses a card that has the synergy tokens on it already, they will be able to take that synergy token into their personal pile. Until these cards are taken, the synergy tokens stay with that card. If any of the cards are discarded that have a synergy token on it, the synergy tokens are placed back into the pool. Now, if our other player here wanted to take this northern green frog, they would still have to pay in order to take this card for themselves, place it anywhere on their board, and take this synergy token into their personal pool. And then slide everything down to the right again and refill our species card. Now, when you place a card on your board and it matches habitats with any cards adjacent to it, you will gain 1 synergy token. Here we placed an Arctic habitat next to another Arctic habitat. We would get 1 synergy token for doing that. If we were to place this species card in this spot here, we would gain 1 synergy token for matching with our lemming here with the Arctic. We would gain another one for matching with our Canada lynx here, and we would gain another one for having matched the forest habitats as well. So placing this card here would gain us 3 synergy tokens. regardless if the numbers placed are in sequential order. Instead of taking a card from the field, you can purchase a wild card here. You would spend 10 synergy tokens to take whichever one that you want. And when you place it on your board, the same rules apply for placing and matching habitats. Here we matched our Arctic here and down here, so we would gain 2 synergy tokens even after having paid the 10. Now, while you are placing your cards on the board, you'll want to keep in mind your secret objectives to be able to gain more points while you play. Here we already have 4 of our Arctic habitats anywhere placed on the board. We still need our 2 endangered species next to each other. We have 2 right here going this direction. We need 3 tag species in a row or column. We have 3 right here. And we would still need our fall L shape somewhere on this board in order to complete all 4. Now, for the secret objectives, you're only paying attention to these icons here and not anything to do with the sequence numbers. But you'll want to work back and forth between getting these done and working on getting your numbers in a sequence so that you can score the most points you can. Now, the other action you can take on your turn is taking one of the skill token actions up here. The side with the green is the active skill token side, and the side with the stone is the inactive side. If you choose to take an action from the active side, you will choose one from the green side. You'll notice these icons here have a 2 with an X next to it. You will have to discard 2 of the cards in the field in order to take that action. All of the cards have some variation of that on the active side. This one you have to discard 1 card. This one you need to discard 3. So for this particular skill, we would be able to place a research token on a card that we have in our play area with the fall symbol season on it. And each research token on a card will gain us 1 point at the end of the game. This research token here gives us 8 synergy tokens when we discard 3 of the cards in the field. This skill token lets us move cards 2 times. So we can move 1 card and another card, or we can move 1 card twice. Now, each time you move a card and you match habitats, you will gain those synergy tokens. So if I were to move this card up here, I would gain 1, 2 synergy tokens for matching the Arctic and the forest. And if I moved it right back here, I would gain another 2 for matching those there. Now, if I move 2 separate cards and I move this card here, I would get 1 synergy token here. Moving this card up here, I would get 2 there. In order to take our skill action, we will start from the top to the bottom. We will add our research token to our fall card here. We have a fall grizzly bear here. We'll place that on the card like this. We'll need to discard 2 cards from the field out here, any 2 we want. We're gonna get rid of that one and get rid of this one. Flip that over for our discard. We will move everything down to the right. Refill the field with the cards missing, and then we will flip this skill token over to the inactive side like so. Now, when you take the inactive skill token action, you take all the ones that are available. So for this particular set, I would gain 6 synergy tokens, and I have to take all of those inactive actions. So if I want to take this, I would take 6 of these, flip these back over. And when you take the inactive action, you move the time tracker down 1 space. Now the game will continue to play in these turns by taking cards, using skill actions until the end game is triggered. When the time tracker reaches this last space here, the end of the game is triggered, and any players have yet to go in that round will take their turn and then the game will end. Now, the other way the end game can be triggered is when the final card is placed on a player board like so, and if the other player has not played this round, they will have 1 final turn before the game ends. Now, when you score for the game, you'll want to use the score sheet because it does lay out everything perfectly for you on how to count up everything. The C here is for columns, the R is for rows. We have our secret objectives, and for every 3 synergy tokens, we'll gain a point. So let's count this up and I'll show you how you're going to score points in this game. For our first column, we need matching habitats and at least 2 numbers in sequential order in either direction. So if we go down here, we have all matching habitats here of the Arctic habitat, but not all the numbers are in sequential order. But we do have a 1, 2, and 3 going up this direction. So we would be able to score 1 point for each card in our sequence. So we have 1, 2, 3, and we would gain 3 points. For column 2, we have some matching habitats here, no matching down here. Even though we have a wild, it doesn't match with our burrowing owl habitat, so there's no points to be had here. But we do have a 4 and a 5 with the Arctic and the forest. It doesn't matter that 2 habitats match, we just need 1 in order to score points. We will get 1 point for each card in our sequence, so we would get 2 points for the cards. We'll get 1 point for every research token that's on a card that is scoring in that row. So for this one, we are scoring the 4 and the 5 here. So we'll get another point there. That gives us 3 points total for this sequence here. Now, when you see this keystone symbol, you get to score a second time. So we have 3 points. We score it again. We get 6 points for column 2. Now, if you have a research token on one of your cards that is not able to score on that row or column, you will not gain the points for that. Same goes for the keystone. If the card with the keystone icon on it is not in your scoring sequence, you will not gain the benefit of scoring a second time in that row or column. Now, for our third column here, we have some matching habitats and some mixed up numbers. We have a 4 and a 5 here, and we have a 4 and a 5 here. We can choose which sequence we want to score off of. Here we have a 4 and a 5 and a keystone here, and here we have a 4 and a 5 and a keystone here. So the number, our total number would be the same no matter which one we decide to score, but you can only score 1 sequence. So we are going to score our sheep and our wolf here. We get 1 point for each card in our sequence, so we get 2 points. We get to score it again because of our keystone wolf here, so we would get 4 points for column 3. Now, for column 4, we have some matching here, some matching here, but not all our numbers are in a sequence. This 1 and 3 down here, we can't score that, but we do have a 2 and a 3 matching Arctic habitats here. We get 1 point for each of those, and we get to score it again. So we get a total of 4 points for column 4. Now we'll do the same with our rows here. On row 1, we have all Arctic, but not all in sequential order. We have a 1, 5, 4, and 3. So we're only going to score the 5, 4, and 3. We get 1 point for each card in our sequence. That's 3 points. We get another point for our research token. That's 4 points. We have our keystone. We get to score it again. That's 8. We have another keystone. We get to score it again. That's 12. So this top row will get us 12 points. Our second row here, we have a 3, 4, and a 5, and a rogue 2 over here. So we will score the 3, 4, and 5. 3 points total for each card in our sequence, and we get to score it again because of our wolf being scored in our sequence. So that's a total of 6 points for row 2. Row 3, we have a 2, 3, and 4, but they do not all have matching habitats together. So we will not score the 4, but we can score the 2 and the 3 right here. So we get 1 point for each of those. That gives us 2 points for row 3. Row 4, we have a wild in here. We can use the wild for any number we choose. We can use it as a 2 next to our 1, or we can use it as a 4 next to the 5. Now, because we have our keystone animal here, we'll probably want to score it as a 4 and a 5 here, so we can get the most points possible. So we'll use this as a 4 and 5, get 2 points, score it again and get 4 points. You can use your wild card for a column or row and use it as a different number in each of those scoring instances. Next, we'll need to score our secret objectives from our player board. We did not match the pattern for the fall season. We have 2 started here, but we don't have an L anywhere, so we did not accomplish that one. Here we need 2 endangered species. Next to each other, we have 2 right here, so we do have that one. We need 3 tagged species cards in a row or a column next to each other, which we did not accomplish. And we need at least 4 Arctic habitats on the board, which we have. So we accomplished 2 of our secret objectives, giving us 10 points. And then last but not least, we need to count up our synergy tokens. For every 3, you get a point. We have 3 here, and a 5, which has 3 in it. So we would get 3 points for that. Now the player who has the highest score on the score sheet wins the game. If there's a tie, the player who completed the most secret objectives will win the game. If there's still a tie, the player with the most synergy tokens wins the game. And if there's still a tie, just share the victory. Now with the coastal expansion, you can play with any or all of the new components introduced in this pack. You'll follow the standard game setup with the Keystone North America 2nd edition and play with the variants depending on what components you add to your game. So one of the components you can add to the base game is adding in these new species cards. You can shuffle those right into the normal deck and play them in the field. You'll see in this bottom right corner, there is a little dolphin. So if at any point you want to pull these cards out of the base game, you know which ones they are with this icon underneath here. Next, we have 10 new skill tokens you can add to the game. Some of these skill tokens require you to be playing with certain components of the expansion. So if you are only adding these to the base game and not playing with any other part of the expansion, you'll need to remove those specific skill tokens from the game. Now, the only difference with these skill tokens is the active side is water instead of grass, but the inactive side is the same as the base game with the stone side. Now, if you decide to play with the Conservation Center variant, your setup will look like this. We have the standard game set up here, and on top of that, we have given each player each type of conservation base component and then made a stack of each of the expansion components here. Now on each of the base conservation centers, you'll see this token can hold 1 species card, and the type of species it can hold is indicated by this symbol here. You'll see half of the symbol is the Arctic habitat and the other half is the winter season. This one has the endangered species icon and the tagged icon. This one has the grasslands habitat icon and the spring icon. This one has our wetlands icon and our fall icon. These are the Conservation Center expansion tokens. These expand the cards you can hold here by 2, marked by these 2 little blips down here. And if you aren't sure what habitat or base this belongs to, flip it over and it will show you the 2 symbols that correspond with one of the bases down here. Now, when you play with the Conservation Center variant, you can perform the special action associated with the Conservation Center variant once per turn, on your turn only. In addition to buying a wild card, you now have the option to take the special action for the Conservation Center variant. These allow you to play a species card in this area instead of your board. So anytime you take a species card, you now have the option to either play it on the board or play it on one of your base centers here. Now, in order to play a species card on one of your centers, the species card must match the habitat, season, or symbol represented on the base. So if first player were to take this mountain lion and instead of placing it on their board, wanted to place it on one of their centers down here, they can place this card either on the center that has the fall season here or any of these habitats here. So our mountain lion could be placed in the desert here as it does match that habitat icon. It can be placed in the wetlands here because it matches the wetlands icon and the fall season icon, or it can be placed underneath this center here because it matches the woodland icon. Each of these bases has a maximum capacity of 1 card. So once I place this mountain lion card there, another card cannot be played. And you will just fill up the field like you do your normal turn. Scooch all these down one, flip this over, and then your turn is over. Now, if you want to advance one of your conservation centers and expand it to carry more cards, it will cost you synergy tokens. Now, on our player turn aid, it will tell us how many we need in order to buy them. Under this spot here where it says buy a conservation center, if it's your first time upgrading, it will cost you 3. If it's your second time, it will cost you 5. If it's your third time, it will cost you 7. And if it's your fourth time upgrading, it will cost you 10 synergy tokens. Now, when you pay the cost, you will take one of these expanded tokens here, place it on top of the center like this, and now you can place 3 cards in this center here. When you have cards placed down here, you are able to place research tokens on these cards or move this card anywhere you want, as long as it matches the requirements needed to be in that center. You can also move it back to the board. You can also move a card from the board down here. So these cards will still play as normal with the skill tokens with just a little bit of variation. Now, when you reach the end of the game, you will score like normal with the columns and rows, secret objectives, and synergy tokens. Now, if you are playing with our conservation centers, you'll see there's a spot for each type here. And you will count up how many cards are under each center and add in research token and multiply it by the number of conservation tokens. This particular one here, which is our temperate woodland base, we have 1 card with 1 research token, that's 2 points. And we have 1 conservation center token here. So we would multiply it by 1. So this would give us 2 points. Now this card here, we have 1 here. And we have 2 conservation tokens here. We have the expansion here and the center base here. So we have 1 times 2 would give us 2 points. Now, if you decide to play with the community board, we need to put this out here within reach and sight of our players and have our first player choose which habitat we're going to start with. We're going to put that on the woodlands there. Now, when this variant is added into the game, you have a new way to place research tokens on the species. Now on your turn, you'll have the option to research the community focus and change the community focus as the action for your turn. Now to research the community focus, you'll spend 5 synergy tokens and place a research token on an unresearched species that doesn't have any research tokens on it that matches the habitat that has been chosen as the focus. So for my turn, I can spend 5 synergy tokens, take this research token and place it on any card in my play area or on the conservation centers if we're playing with that variant that match the woodland habitat. We have a mule deer right here where I could place it here and it doesn't have research tokens already on it. Or I could play it on the coyote here, but I could not play it on the mountain lion. Since that has a research token on it already, we'll place it on the mule deer here, and that would be my turn. If you want to change the community focus, you will pay 3 synergy tokens to move it wherever you would like. You can change the focus and research the community focus in whichever order you choose, and changing the community focus would be an optional action on your turn. Now, the other thing we get in our expansion is a new solo or co-op assignments to play, and you'll read and follow the setup special rules and winning conditions for each of those assignments using the Coastal expansion. And that's everything I can show you on how to set up and play Keystone North America, the 2nd edition, and the Coastal expansion. I'll see you next time for the next game. Bye!